Hi, I'm Fred McNeil, and you're watching QAC TV 7. And you're watching a program we call Commissioner's Corner. You know, we're very delighted about once a month we get a different commissioner come in and give the citizens of the county a little bit of an update, what's going on and what type of events you might look forward to, and perhaps some of the things they've done at the regular sessions. I'm delighted to have with me Commissioner Jim Moran. Jim, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
We're both sitting here shaking our heads. First day we've had sun in about a week.
Absolutely.
They're closing my pool today and you in the near future, but you're holding off.
That's right. I'm never going to let go till probably Thanksgiving.
That's the official warning that winter is coming.
That's right.
Hey, Jim, all types of great things going on. Let's see if we can't get through a lot of our list.
Okay.
One of the things we want to talk about and remind people about is the 10K across the bay.
10K across the bay, November 8th. Sunday, November 8th. And I want to tell everybody that also, you know, in leading up to that, we have a town hall meeting. And that's going to be on Tuesday, October 13th, at 6:30 p.m. at the Percy Thomas Senior Center. So anybody that's concerned about this event, which is going to be very large this year, and last year I think we had, I want to say 16,000, 17,000. This year we're north of 20,000.
So it's spectators, runners, parking things.
Absolutely,
You're going to try to help people out.
Absolutely, and that's what the town hall's for. So I mean, last year went off like clockwork. It was outstanding. Matter of fact, the bridge was actually open almost an hour earlier than they anticipated. The event went extremely smooth. It was a huge success for Queen Anne's County and for the state and for the bridge. And just, but anybody has a concern, please come to the town hall meeting at 6:30 on Tuesday, October 13th at the Percy Thomas Center. Ask any questions you'd like. We've reached out to all the faith-based organizations, let them know that what's going on, you know, and we're trying to get the word out there to everybody. And there's no Ravens game that day. I don't know about your Redskins, but there's no Ravens that day. So
we're first place.
So yeah. Well, that's today. So we'll cherish that right now. So there's no game. So you know that just to let people know. It's going to help
with the traffic
absolutely,
a little bit.
Absolutely.
So besides the run on November 8th, you're going to have a town meeting. So if people say, "Well, look, I'm a little worried about this,"
right.
You're going to relax them a little.
Absolutely.
And give them all the facts.
And they can ask anything and everything about this event, and everybody will be there that can answer it.
Great, okay. Hey, another thing we had, which was a lot of fun, the Fireball Run. Why don't you share some of your experience?
Well, the Fireball Run is done. It is completed. They were here last Sunday, and they left Monday morning. It was great. You know, we had 50 teams come here, and I will tell you that our team of Dave and Jody, unfortunately came in 31st place.
Oh, 31st?
Yeah, out of 44.
They were second when they got to Centerville. They were rocking,
yeah, you know, so we appreciate what they've done and putting Queen Anne's County on the map. They had a great time. So they're actually on their way back now. I want to thank the Sheriff's Department for loaning the vehicle. I'd like to send a big thank you out to Faith Elliott Rosing and Debbie Birch. They put in a lot of hours, and I know you guys were there too.
It was fun. We had a tough assignment. We had cheerleaders. We had the Queen in her court. We had a good time. We had a very good time.
Yeah. So it was a great event, and it was good for Queen Anne's County because some of the things that we did in there, you know, the video we made promoting the county, stays up on their website from here on out. Anybody in history, you know, that goes forward with future events, they can look back at that and learn something about Queen Anne's County, and it's something we can use here in the county to promote the county.
Very nice event, and again, helping create awareness about children who are missing across the country.
Very much so.
And it was a great cause. Something kind of interesting, and we're all kind of still reacting to, hurricane or threat came, EMS were right on top of it, the services. You want to share some of that?
A shout out again to Scott Haas, Chief Haas, and the entire Department of Emergency Services for doing such an outstanding job, because when the governor calls a state of emergency, that sets into motion
flags start going
everything, right? So they treat that situation as an emergency because they plan for it, and they start to implement their plan. And it's a 5-day plan, and I believe they were all the way up through day number 3. We met at the emergency operations center at their headquarters, and it was packed. Every department head was there, from state, local agencies, and they were on top of it, and it was well run, well managed, and I think Queen Anne's County is very fortunate to have such a good group of men and women that we know that'll be there in case of emergency.
And the nice thing I saw in different social media outlets, there were statements by Scott and his staff saying, "Hey, look, here's where we are. We think we are. Stay tuned, stay alert, and stay on top of
Absolutely,
things."
absolutely. So it was a great job. I mean, they had the shelters ready, had the shelter ready for pets. I mean, it was I was very impressed. They were prepared.
They did a good job.
They did what they were supposed to, and their emergency plan that they just implemented, just got completed with. It was flawless.
Good, okay. Jim, something coming up November 14th, 15th, and 16th, and something I know you really care about is another cleanup coming up at the county.
Absolutely.
You want to share some information?
Well, that's the one. It's also a big one for recycling. That's why it's a 3-day event. Again, it's November 14th, 15th, and 16th, and it's the county's going to be pushing forward with this event like we did in the spring was a 1-day event. This is a 3-day event. So we want to see how much trash and how much recycle that we can collect countywide. And again, we're just asking the citizens in those 3 days, if you could get out there in front of your home, pick a street, anything. I mean, we've got miles upon miles, our parks. So these are all things that I'd like to see us as a community pull together and clean it up.
And we'll be talking about this. There'll be information on radio, TV, so we've got plenty of time. But November 14th, 15th, and 16th, kind of mark your calendar. Now, hey, a great event you had out at Chesapeake College. You had over 30 different organizations.
Wow.
Looked to me about almost 200 people, all types of speakers. You want to talk about the I Wish I Knew event at Chesapeake College?
The Wish I Knew event at Chesapeake College was put on by our Drug-Free Coalition. And I got to tell you again, we are so blessed here in Queen Anne's County to have so many people that care so much about all these different aspects of life in Queen Anne's County. And as everybody knows, there's no hiding the fact that we have a drug, marijuana, and a heroin problem and in Queen Anne's County and in entire state of Maryland. And and people say, well, we don't have a major problem. If we have one child that's on heroin, that's one too many. That's right. So the more information we can get out there to parents and to kids and adults, the better off they're going to be prepared to deal with this and to confront this head on. And again, for the Drug-Free Coalition, I would like to say a big thank you to Warren and Kathy Wright.
They did a great job.
They're just
great job.
They're phenomenal.
Kathy retired that day.
Yes, she did. She's retired from the health department, and this has been something for over 30 years that she's done and cares for Queen Anne's County. And Tracy Donahue, we had our Sonny and Jeremy, outstanding from the Sheriff's Department. And Jen, thank you very much for everything you guys have done. And I know I'm going to leave somebody out, but I apologize for that. But like you said, we had over 30 different vendors there that would help with anything from drug addiction to counseling, all aspects of the issues. And then we also had an emergency room doctor. We had Lance Richardson, who also is a great speaker.
Attorney, did a great job.
We had Lamont Cook from the detention center. A lot of people don't understand what happens when you get incarcerated. And I thought that Lamont's speak up there about some of that stuff drives it home. And to me, I wish the place was packed. It holds 900. I'd love to see 900 there because I think once you hear what goes on when you get involved with this, it is a game changer. We had Dr. Goodman there. He spoke on treatment and a couple others there. And it was a great event. We had a question and answer at the end. So if you didn't hear during the discussion that answered your question, you could write a question and hand it up there, and they read it. It was very informative. Thank QAC TV for being there.
Here's the good news. If people did miss the event, the entire program will be on TV this week, and each of the 30-plus different people that were there representing an organization, they're there giving their name and how to contact them.
That's excellent. That's great, because that's something that will also be, you guys will run it, but then it'll be archived, so at any given time somebody could pull that information up, and that's what we want. We just want to be able to get the information out there so people can be aware of it, so they can get their loved ones the help they need.
Very nice event. And remember, that was just at the tip of the hurricane scale.
Absolutely.
So it was a great crowd for that because it was raining and chilly. So it was a very nice crowd. It was a good crowd. Jim, moving on, how about you have a Chester Y event coming up at the Beach Club. Want to talk about that?
Well, that's the Chester Y. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year, and I believe wholeheartedly in their mission. And that's Friday, October 9th. And it's at the Beach Club. So if you have the opportunity, and I will tell you, it is the best, hands down, silent and live auction. Not knocking any of these other ones, but
some good stuff.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the amount of things that I walked in, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, so You know,
and this from a man who just bought a diving hard helmet.
Oh yeah,
so there must be some good stuff.
Yes, there is. I mean, I got a handmade quilt at the last one that former Delegate Baker and I were bidding against each other, and I thank God he stopped bidding when he did. But you know, it's a great cause. Please get out there and support it if you have the time. You'll thoroughly enjoy it.
And that's coming up October 9th.
That's right.
Now, hey, well, you spent last week, you were at Queen Anne's County High School one time with a football team promoting high school athletics.
Right.
Then you spent the next week at Kent Island High School promoting, again, athletics with emphasis on every woman athlete at Kent Island High School, which was great.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the things I heard a lot of people say, Queen Anne's County homecoming was canceled this week. And a couple reasons. The main reason the football game canceled, quite obviously, the field is basically underwater.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a keen interest of yours of our athletes.
Well, it has been. I think that, you know, first, thank you for inviting me to do those, because I had a lot of fun. I mean, the rivalry with football alone, I played football in Queen Anne's, Kent Island. I'm looking forward to that game. And it's going to be a packed house for sure. It always is. But Queen Anne's High School, unfortunately, has had 2 of their homecoming games canceled, I think, in the last 3 years.
Very unusual, but the weather's changing in October.
Absolutely, And there's no secret that I've always been for the synthetic fields. I know they come with the hefty cost, but I think it's something that's worth it because the amount of time you get out of those fields. I mean, case in point, this last spring, in the month of, I think it was March, I think our fields for public use were only open 3 days in the entire month.
You couldn't play golf that whole month.
Right.
Yes,
Well, you couldn't. They couldn't practice outdoor lacrosse, soccer, anything like that, and baseball. So, and I understand all that. I mean, you know, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature, and if we could keep our fields in top condition, we want to. But you know, I still think for a high school, we need to level the playing field, especially with some of our teams playing in Anne Arundel County leagues and all those schools having them. I think it's worth it. I think it's, you know, it's a cost that for our kids, it's something I'm not opposed to spending.
It certainly would have helped Queen Anne's County this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would have played their game, okay, which now they're playing on a Monday at 6 o'clock. A lot of parents are going to be in a rush, you know,
exactly.
Changes their whole schedule.
All right.
Okay, great. A lot of talk in town, courthouse parking concerns. You want to share, get everyone up to date what's going on?
Well, I mean, where we stand right now on the courthouse is we have gotten our final approval to move forward from the Planning Commission of the town of Centerville. We are working on a public works agreement, and we're just trying to iron out the parking issue right now. I really don't want to get into a lot about that, but I will tell you that the new courthouse is moving forward. Some of the buildings that are on that site will be demolished here within the next couple of weeks to clear that site and get us moving forward and get us on schedule with this the construction of the new courthouse.
Which is going to change. Centerville is going to be hopping again. You're going to have a new courthouse, and it's going to draw not only employees, but it's just going to give a nice little touch to the town.
We think so, yes.
I think it's going to be a big thing. And just Todd Mon will speak about this more, but this new county office building.
Right.
When I go shopping, every week I mean, all of a sudden you've got the building there.
Right.
And you go, my golly. So we'll get Todd to tell, but you guys are doing a great job keeping that moving and we're on schedule.
It is definitely on schedule, yes. Okay. So the new building, new county administration building is on schedule.
Good. You went on a state highway tour. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, so we had our state highway tour approximately 2 weeks ago. You know, Secretary Ron was here at Queen Anne's County, and he goes to every county in the state and does a tour of what the needs and necessities are for each jurisdiction. And you know, as everybody knows, we have the issue with 404, we have the issue with the overpass at 213, and the overpass at 404, plus the overpass that's going on right now at 304. So all these things are moving forward, and people may think that the 304 overpass is what's taking so long. We had a lot of issues there with soils and groundwater. And
you're actually having to, did I didn't hear this right?
Going
Make
on
a river.
Oh yeah,
something under the road.
All right, under 301, and it's just it's taking a little time, but they've got a handle on it, and they're moving forward. And I think that you'll start to see things pick up a little bit. But now going into winter, that all slows everything down also. But with that being said, so you know, the concern that we've had in Queen Anne's County, and I think that any citizen will attest to this, is the traffic on Sunday nights on Route 50 that backs up from the Bay Bridge, and you know, it can back up all the way to the 5301 split. And what has happened now over the years, as one, car production increases, gas prices go down, more and more vehicles. And with more and more vehicles, it's that much more. Than we're not talking about backups from accidents. We're talking about just
normal traffic. From the beach or where?
That's correct. And I guess when they get on the bridge, everybody likes to sightsee and look and slow down, or they're terrified of the bridge. So what happens is we get a backup, and in the backup we understand. What we cannot tolerate is the backup that gets out onto Route 18 and gets on every side street we have. And now our citizens, which are number about 33,000 on Kent Island, from the 5301 split to the bridge, about 33,000 residents, almost 16,000 businesses, places of business, and also homes, all get stymied. On Sunday, they can't go out. They can't go to the store. They can't go to business. Our business is hurt. Our citizens get frustrated. So in that meeting, I presented the fact that, why can't we move that back up from Route 50 to the split all the way out to 404? Because between 404 and Easton, there's about 6,700 people live there, but they have other ways to get out. They're not surrounded by water. So my suggestion was to State Highway, and as soon as we get a backup of a mile or two before it gets to Castle Marina Road, we just move an arrow board out before the 404 light on Route 50 East, and we shrink it down to one lane.
Okay.
You choke the traffic there, which allows the backup to dissipate. And once the backup's dissipated, you relieve the traffic.
The other lane. Okay.
Yeah. So, and we're not talking about every Sunday. We're talking about those Sunday. Let's take Labor Day. I mean, there was over combined 15 to 20 mile backups. I mean, it was backed up all the way to the 5301 split, and then it was backed up beyond that.
And people are stuck. They can't get out to shop.
I mean, I live on Bennett Point Road, down Bennett Point Road. I came out Bennett Point Road at 5 o'clock to meet my in-laws at Bridges. And I get to the end of the road on Route 18, and it's backed up all the way to there. And I said, wow. So needless to say, I went home, jumped on the boat, ran around, met him at Bridges.
It's easier by water than
it was, but the bigger problem was I get to the Narrows, and the businesses are empty. The parking lots,
people aren't going out there.
They can't get there. So it hurts us economically, and I think it hurts us more of just a plain fact of knowing that it's Sunday, we can't go anywhere. Sure. And I think it's, to me, that's an easy fix. It doesn't cost a lot of money. And again,
we do it on the actual bridge itself every weekend. Why can't we do it on
I mean, you put that traffic, that backup, put it between 404 and Easton where there is nothing. Sure. It's just countryside, and allow our citizens to still be able to move around. I think that's, to me, is an easy fix until the day that, God willing, we get another bridge, or they do something for us.
They do something to help us out. It's a good idea. Yeah. Jim, before we close, one of the things we talked about was the Fireball Run. And one of the great things the Fireball Run did was to remind us, let's increase our awareness of children who tragically have been missing for some reason all around the country. And what Channel 7 is going to do, and it was your idea, by the way, we're going to, at the next couple of shows, present two people who are missing, and perhaps by our efforts we can help recover these poor tragic kids. You want to share with what you got?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the Fireball Run was all about community, but it was all about help finding missing children. And today they found over 4. Okay. So what we have here, as you can see, is Victoria Jolly. She's 13 years old, and she went missing from Orlando, Florida. And who do you have?
Okay, the young lady I have is Tangina Griffith. She'd be 11 years old now. She's a female and missing from the state of New York.
There you go. So if this helps in any way possible, if anybody knows anybody or can repost this, we greatly appreciate it.
And it's a great idea. And QAC TV 7, what we're going to do, we have about 50 different children that we've been provided with by the Fireball Run. We're going to spend the next 25, 30 shows talking about these people very briefly, but we need your help, and we need the entire country's help to recover these children. Jim, thank you for being with us in Commissioner's Corner, and a great idea. And please, let's all be aware that children are missing in our community. We want to do everything we can to help recover them. This is Fred McNeil. Thanks for watching QAC TV 7. My time's up. Thank you for your time. We're going to see you next time.